guys, welcome back to Onyx Food Hill. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make croissants. In this croissant recipe, I'm just going to start by activating our dry yeast. So I have here 150 ml of warm milk. To it, I'm going to add in a teaspoon of active dry yeast. Once I've added the yeast to the warm milk, I'm just going to stir it and make sure everything is dissolved in the warm milk. I'll now allow the yeast to sit for 10 minutes until it becomes active. Next, we'll start preparing our dried ingredients. To the bowl, I'm going to add in 250 grams of all-purpose flour, a third cup of granulated sugar, and then I'm just going to whisk everything and make sure it combines nicely. 10 minutes later, the yeast is activated. I'm just going to bring it into the flour. And I'll also add in 25 grams of melted butter. I'm using salted butter. And 1 egg yolk. I'm going to mix everything together until it's nicely combined. I'm just going to mix everything to form a dough. Once a dough is formed, then I'll drop this spatula and I'm going to be using my hand to mix this until it comes together. Once I have brought everything together, I'm just going to grease the bowl with some oil. This will prevent the dough from sticking to the bowl. I'm going to place the croissant dough inside of the bowl, then rub some oil on the surface of the dough as well. Next, I'm going to place a cling film over the croissant dough. We're going to rest the dough for 2 hours until it doubles in size. 2 hours later, you can see the croissant dough has doubled in size. Okay, this is exactly what you're looking for. So I'm just going to deflate it with my hand. Next, I'm going to transfer the dough to a lightly floured surface. I'm just going to knead the dough for some minutes. Next, I'm just going to roll the dough into a log. Once the dough is rolled out to the shape of a log, it's easy to divide the dough into smaller pieces. I'm just going to use a pizza cutter to cut the dough into 6 equal parts. Since we are going to work with one dough at a time, so I'm just going to cover the rest with a towel. This will prevent the dough from drying out. I'm still going to dust my surface. I'm just going to roll the dough into a thin cycle. Once my dough is rolled out into a disc shape like this, which is approximately 16 centimeters in diameter, next I'm going to put some butter on the surface of the dough. You can also use a butter knife to spread the butter evenly. Next, I'm going to transfer the dough to a parchment paper. And then I will continue with the rest of the dough. And this is the second one, so we are going to stack them up. And this is the last. You can see for the last dough, I didn't put butter on it, so I'm just going to use it to cover the rest. So this is how we stack everything up. And now we are going to wrap the dough up and place it in the freezer for 30 to 35 minutes. And now to the freezer it goes. So guys, 35 minutes later, I've taken this out of the freezer. At this point, the flavor has developed and the butter has spread out. So I'm just going to take this out, then dust the surface and then roll it out properly. So I'm just going to start on one direction first. Okay, so as you keep rolling it, you will notice the butter spreading all over the dough, and you are supposed to roll it up to about 5 millimeters in thickness. And you can flip it over to the other side and also roll until all the layers blend together. And now you need to roll it horizontally and vertically. Once I have rolled this out into a mat shape, all I'm just going to do, I'm just going to fold the dough like this, and like this. And we are still going to roll it out until the butter is evenly distributed everywhere in the dough. After several folding and stretching of the dough, the butter is evenly distributed. And because the dough has now become soft, we are going to rest it again in the fridge, let's say for an hour. Like I said, the longer you leave it, the better it is. And to the freezer it goes again for an hour. And now I have rested the dough for another 1 hour and it has become firm, and we are going to roll it out into a rectangular shape. Okay, once the dough is rested, pliable, it's easy to work on it, and the butter is evenly distributed. As you can see, there's no more sign of the butter popping out. We need to have a thickness of 5 millimeters, so I'm rolling it the other way around. It should be horizontally and vertically. Once I've rolled this out, I'm now going to trim the edges. So once I have a perfect rectangle like this, I'm going to cut the dough into 3 equal parts. Next, I'm just going to cut this diagonally so I can have a triangle. Just like this. Once I have cut my dough into beautiful rectangular shapes like this, I'll just try to elongate it small. Okay, just be gentle with this. And once I have elongated it, I'm just going to use a pizza cutter to make a little slit at the end here. The slit will enable me to fold the croissants very well and will also help the croissants to cook properly in the middle. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold this tightly. So you make it tight so that it doesn't unfold while this is baking in the oven. You can see the way it's being folded. And then I will join the tip like this, and always make sure the tip is down. And I will now place this in a tray lined with a parchment paper. Always make sure the tail is down so that it doesn't unwrap while this is baking. And I'll now continue with the rest of the croissant. So I'll make a slit and I'll gently fold this tightly. And we have our croissants beautifully rolled out. Into the tray it stays. And now all our croissants are beautifully rolled out. I just want to tell you, during all the process of molding and rolling, always make sure your croissant dough remains chilled. Once you start to roll and you notice the coldness is beginning to wear out, you can just pop it in the fridge for 30 minutes or 1 hour before you come back and mold or roll it. And now we need to rest our croissants on the counter for an hour. Within this 1 hour, you need to put an eye on the croissants just to make sure they don't overstretch while rising. Otherwise, when you pop it into the oven, they begin to lose their shape because they will begin to stretch out. And I'm going to place a foil paper over the croissants to prevent them from drying out. After resting the croissants in a warm place for an hour, they have risen in size, so they've increased to the size that I want. Next, I'm going to place it in the fridge to chill up for 30 minutes before I start baking it. This way, the croissant will not expand too much in the oven when baking. After 30 minutes of resting the croissants in the fridge, they have become firm. So at this point, we are going to glaze the croissants. So I'm using egg. So I've prepared egg wash with 1 egg. So I'm just going to use a pastry brush to brush the surface of the croissant so it comes out beautifully. And I will transfer this to my baking sheet. And I'm going to bake my croissants in a preheated oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. After that, I will reduce the heat and bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 minutes. So guys, 5 minutes into the baking time, you can turn around your sheet so that your croissants bake evenly. And once they are out of the oven like this, you leave them to cool down because they are very, very soft. So guys, our homemade croissants are ready. They smell just like bakery style croissants. I love my croissants dusted with some icing sugar. You can see they are soft and flaky. Let me have a taste of this. I love them warm. Okay. These are perfect croissants. This is really yummy. Once you've replicated this croissant recipe, let me know in the comment section what you think about them. Thank you guys for watching. Please, if you are new to my channel, subscribe, hit the bell button so you don't miss any video whenever I upload them. You can share this video and also remember to give me a thumbs up. Until next time guys, I love to see you soon. Bye for now.